The United Nations just had its General Assembly not too long from today, and when one sits down and analyze the different persons that got to speak at such an assembly, you get to see how divided things are and how confusing our times and our lives down here have become. We have thrown ourselves in places that we ordinarily tend to think we cannot come out of. We have been engulfed by different wars. In the last 100 years, we have not rested. We've not stopped fighting. We've had the people of Poland go through the most scariest and the most devastating of periods. We've had them become the center of a daily display of what was the World War II, and it speaks the devil and it speaks sadness to my soul, and it stings Satan to discover that men and women ordinarily have come to learn nothing from history. That despite the levels in which we tell ourselves that we are civil, we are intelligent, we are progressive, we are advancing, that indeed we have actually not made any progress meaningful enough in our lives. Because I can tell you for free that when Russia and when Germany invaded a place like Poland from both axes, from both ends, the world never believed it had started the Second World War. The world never came to tell itself, the Second World War has started. There were just fights from different places. America never got triggered to enter into the war until a place like Pearl Harbor got bombed, and as we saw them fully get involved in what became the catastrophe that swept through the 20th century into the 21st century. And so we have not recovered. We are still so much distrustful, not just of one particular group, but of ourselves. From political parties to ideologies, we've seen the rise of different things. At the point they said it was communism that is going to help people, but we saw bread lines. We saw people standing in queue just to get food. There were the periods of Soviets occupied a whole lot of places. There have been different challenges that have faced us. We've succeeded in coming out. A man like Pope John Paul II, the Catholic Pope, who also happened to be a Polish man, who also happened to be around during the Second World War, and who also had to suspend his studies in order to work in the mines, was no stranger to the harm a thing like the Soviet could ordinarily do to a people. So you saw his involvement in what led to the breakage and to the falling of the Soviet Union in the late and early 90s, in the late 80s and early 90s. We've had the whole idea and the reality of a thing like the Berlin Wall. We've had the Gulf War. We've had the different emancipations done by different persons across different boards. We've had the rift between Pakistan, and we've had the rift between Pakistan and India. We've had problems. The people of Taiwan are clamoring every day to leave China. North Korea is still struggling with the thing as freedom of speech. Is it Barbados we want to talk about? Is it the Caribbeans we want to bring into the conversation today? Is it Sudan? Is it Niger? Is it Nigeria? Is it Ghana? Is it Congo? Is it Syria? Is it Lebanon? Is it Israel? Is it Iran? Where do we want to start from? Where do we want to start telling ourselves that we have been so foolish, we've been so stupid as a people in this world who are blessed with so much resources, who've been given the agency to think for themselves, but who have decided not to think for themselves. And so we found ourselves become like trumpeters of things I don't understand. So that I sit down and I listen to the speech of the Prime Minister of Israel. And I am moved down with shivers. And I ask myself, where are we heading to? I see a man using biblical passages to justify acts of killing, acts of barbaric savagery, if I should join those two words together. I see us dress in suit. I see us pick up our phones and tell ourselves, there's war in Israel, there's war in Palestine, and it ends there. We say, we kill only soldiers, and it ends there. What do you mean by you kill only soldiers? Soldiers are humans. Soldiers belong to families. Nobody ordinarily should be a soldier in the first place. It is because of our lack of understanding. And so I come to this conclusion that wars are not going to end if those benefiting from wars are not called to the table and the conversation in truth and in sincerity is brought to the forefront of affairs of our consciousness. Because tell me how the United Nations, after many years of its existence, because it was formed right after the First World War from the League of Nations and seeing itself into the Second World War and getting more grounds in the middle of the 20th century, down into what became the Rwandan genocide, down into the reality that became the case in Libya, and which has currently led them to the current situation they find themselves. Down into the different places they have made mistakes. And so that one begins to ask himself, what did Sergio Mano even died for? What did Sergio die for? Why did he allow himself to be killed if ordinarily he didn't believe in the fact that there could be peace? The many persons that have come to die in the course of this conflict are things we cannot really prevent. If you go and search through the papers that became books, and the books that became canons, and the canons that are found in different libraries scattered around the world, you get to see people getting to churn out and yearn for peace in the world. At the same time, you will still find people clamoring for stupid and baseless ideas. Ideas I as a person still don't understand. But it begs the question that we ordinarily have to be reading. We ordinarily have to be paying attention and observing our world and observing the place we come to find ourselves, the place we now have as our world. Because we like it or not, we are being hypocritical, to say the least. We are killing ourselves, we are dying in our numbers, and we think it's all fine. We think it's all normal because it is not our brothers and sisters. We think everything is all good in as much as it does not come to us, in as much as it has not gotten to us directly. What will it take us to gain peace in the world? What will it take us to really come to achieve peace? What will it take us to ordinarily gain the grounds we ordinarily have to gain as a people here? Because if you even ask yourself, why is Israel being a land grabber? Why is Israel struggling so much to gain the necessary land mass it thinks it wants to gain? Why is the Palestinian people, why are they fighting? Why is Iran in this conflict? Why is Lebanon being under siege? It's for land. It's for land. It's for dominance. It's to find and give ourselves a sense of purpose. But then I ask myself, the land we are fighting for, our land, it's a piece of commodity that was here before we came. It's a thing we are going to die and going to leave behind. All those from Hamas and all those from the Iranian side, Hezbollah, that have come down to be killed, all the leaders that have been killed within the short period of time, they have died leaving the same land they have been crumbling and fighting for behind. Nobody has come to leave this world and taken anything with the person. Just like the biblical Job will get to tell us, naked I came from my mother's womb, naked I shall return. We haven't come to tell ourselves that reality yet. We haven't come to have that in our head. We haven't come to look at our lives the way we ordinarily have to look at our lives. Because tell me which people kill themselves in the name of warfare. Tell me where peace has been gained through fighting. Tell me where these things have been done this way, and I will tell you of the joke we have become and of how stupid our life have currently become. Tell me how we must go if we don't listen to ourselves, if we don't grow together, if we don't function well and in peace too. Tell me how we must do things if we don't come to function together. The world is in need of peace. The world is in need of harmony. The world is in need of all the good things it can get. And fighting is not going to solve any problem. The war in Ukraine is done chiefly and squarely out of greed and out of amassing of land. The war in Ukraine is despicable, to say the least. The war between Israel and the Palestinian people, it's a shame to our shared humanity. It's a shame to what we now come to hold and then tell ourselves is our reality. We can solve these problems if we want to solve the problems. Humans have not been so dumb that we cannot really figure out ourselves. We can figure out our lives when we are ready to figure out our lives. And until we do that, we continue to cause more sorrow and cause more pain and cause more shame to ourselves down here. We continue to live in pain, in sorrow, in trepidation, in suffering, until we tell ourselves that enough is enough and that we cannot continue the way we are going. And until we do that, we will know no peace. I am Biringkpa. See you next time.